Flying anywhere this year? Then it's crucial to be aware of the new TSA Carry-on Restrictions 2025. These newly updated rules are already being enforced at airports across the United States, and they are catching many travelers off guard. Whether the trip is domestic or international, not following these updated regulations could result in delays at security checkpoints, forced disposal of personal items, or even being stopped from boarding a flight. Understanding these changes can save both time and stress, especially during busy travel seasons. To stay informed on the latest travel updates and airport policies, don't forget to subscribe to the channel right now so future trips stay smooth and hassle-free. Number 1. Smart bags with non-removable batteries are now prohibited. TSA has implemented a firm policy on smart luggage that includes any suitcase or backpack with built-in electronic features like USB chargers, location tracking, or Bluetooth locks. While these bags remain convenient for modern travelers, they pose a fire risk if the lithium-ion battery is not removable. Under the 2025 rules, any smart bag that contains a non-removable battery is strictly banned from both carry-on and checked luggage. Travelers must remove the battery before getting to the security checkpoint and carry it in a separate container if they wish to bring the bag on board. Bags with clearly detachable batteries that can be easily removed on site will still be allowed. TSA officers are now instructed to ask passengers to demonstrate battery removal if there's any doubt. Not following this guideline could result in the bag being denied entry onto the plane, even if it meets all other size or weight standards. Number 2. Powdered substances over 12 ounces will be flagged for extra screening. TSA has ramped up its scrutiny of powders and carry-on luggage. Any powder-like substance that exceeds 12 ounces, about 350 milliliters, such as protein powder, powdered drink mixes, baby formula, makeup powders, spices, or even dry food supplements, must now be removed from the bag and placed in a separate tray during screening. These items will undergo additional security scans, and officers may open the container to inspect it further. In some cases, if the powder cannot be identified or raises suspicion, passengers may be asked to discard it or pack it in checked luggage instead. Travelers are advised to keep these substances in their original labeled containers to reduce the chance of misunderstanding. Bringing unlabeled bags of white or brown powders can lead to extended questioning and delays, even if they are entirely legal and harmless. Number 3. Full ban on certain toiletry items, even if under 3.4 ounces. Previously, passengers were allowed to bring toiletries and gels under 3.4 ounces in their carry-on bags, following the 311 liquid rule. While that rule still technically applies, some products, especially aerosol-based items, are now being banned outright from the carry-on list, regardless of size. This includes certain types of dry shampoo sprays, aerosol deodorants, cooking sprays, and disinfectant mists. The reason behind this update is related to the propellants and flammable chemicals used in these containers, which pose a higher risk in cabin pressure environments. TSA has published a list of flagged items that are no longer allowed, and officers have been given discretion to remove any toiletry product they feel falls under the new safety concerns. Travelers are now encouraged to switch to non-aerosol alternatives, or pack those items in checked luggage only. Even a single small canister may be confiscated at the checkpoint under the 2025 restrictions. Number 4. Stricter rules on electronics, not declared at screening. Electronic devices have long been subject to screening, but in 2025, the TSA has increased its enforcement around undeclared or hidden electronics in carry-on bags. Tablets, laptops, e-readers, handheld gaming devices, and even large charging banks must now be clearly declared and removed from bags during the initial scan. If any electronic device is discovered buried beneath clothes or inside compartments without being declared, it will trigger a manual inspection. Travelers should also be aware that multiple chargers, as extra batteries and USB hubs, are now under closer observation, especially when packed in bulk. The TSA has increased staff training to detect disguised electronics and devices that may have been altered. Officers may swab electronics for traces of explosives or suspicious substances. Failing to follow these rules can not only cause delays, but also raise red flags that could place the traveler under more intense scrutiny for future flights. Number 5. Snack foods are being examined more closely than ever. TSA has begun treating certain food items with much higher caution in 2025. While snacks like chips, granola bars, and sealed candy are generally allowed, anything that appears homemade, irregularly packaged, or liquid-like in consistency, such as peanut butter, yogurt, dips, or sauces, is more likely to be flagged. Even seemingly innocent foods such as wrapped sandwiches or baked goods can now trigger additional screening. Officers are trained to identify items that could be used to hide prohibited materials, especially in containers that are not factory sealed. Travelers bringing snacks are strongly advised to keep them in transparent Ziploc bags and separate them during screening. It's also a good idea to avoid bringing food that strongly smells or contains excessive oil or liquid. TSA officers have full discretion to confiscate any food they feel poses a risk or interferes with the scanning process, even if it's technically permitted under older rules. Number 6. Personal self-defense items are under a nationwide crackdown. TSA has tightened its stance on self-defense items in carry-ons for 2025, responding to a sharp increase in the number of prohibited objects discovered at security checkpoints. Items such as pepper spray, tactical pens, pocket knives with hidden blades, self-defense keychains shaped like animal heads, and even disguised stun guns are now being seized more aggressively than ever before. What's important to understand is that many of these items were already restricted, but in the past some were allowed under specific conditions or simply overlooked depending on the airport. That is no longer the case. TSA has now issued nationwide directives to enforce zero tolerance on these tools, regardless of size or intended use. Even items labeled TSA approved by manufacturers are being removed from bags if they contain features considered dangerous under the updated screening guidelines. Travelers should carefully check their personal bags, purses, and keychains before arriving at the airport to avoid unexpected confiscations or questioning. Number 7. Clothing with built-in storage compartments is now subject to search. With the rise of travel gear designed for concealment, such as jackets with hidden pockets, underwear with stash compartments, and scarves that can hold valuables, TSA has started treating these garments with increased suspicion. Passengers wearing clothing with multiple concealed compartments or anti-theft gear may now be asked to undergo additional pat-downs or even be required to remove the clothing for X-ray scanning. While these types of garments are popular for safety during international trips, they have also been used to hide banned items such as liquids, cash, medication, and even small electronic devices. TSA officers have received specialized training to identify these garments and may ask detailed questions about their contents. While wearing travel-friendly clothing is not illegal, passengers should prepare for closer inspection if their outfit includes built-in hiding spots. To reduce delay, it is recommended to remove these items before entering security and place them in a tray for separate screening. Number 8. Stricter regulations on carrying medical devices and supplies. TSA has introduced updated screening protocols for passengers carrying medical equipment, especially those using items like CPAP machines, insulin pumps, nebulizers, portable oxygen concentrators, or injectable medications. In 2025, all such devices must be clearly declared to TSA officers before entering the X-ray belt. Medical documentation is not required but strongly recommended to avoid confusion. Devices that cannot be X-rayed, such as certain heart monitors or advanced diagnostic tools, will now require chemical swab testing, which could add extra time to the security process. TSA has also updated its list of restricted medical liquids. For example, any liquid medication exceeding the 3.4-ounce limit must now be placed in a separate bin, and officers may test a sample of the liquid for explosive residue. Cooling packs or ice used to store medication must also be fully frozen when going through security. Partially melted gel packs may not be allowed. Passengers are advised to carry prescriptions in clearly labeled containers and store all medical items together in a single, easily accessible bag. Traveling in 2025 has become more complicated, but being informed is the key to avoiding unnecessary stress at the airport. These new TSA Carry-on Restrictions 2025 are already being enforced nationwide, and missing even one of these updated rules could lead to delays, extra screening, or losing valuable belongings. Whether the trip is for business, vacation, or visiting family, knowing exactly what can and cannot be packed in a carry-on will make the entire journey smoother and safer. For more updates on travel safety, airport policies, and essential packing tips, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Staying informed today means traveling without problems tomorrow. Safe travels!